Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, and welcome to our last World Cup review between Argentina and France in the final, which was, let's be real, probably the best World Cup final I think I can remember for a hell of a long time. It was end-to-end, great football, loads of drama, but ultimately and fairly, Argentina won the FIFA 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Lionel Messi got his man of the match, player of the tournament, and he also gets to finish his career with a World Cup, which is fully deserved. The story of the game really was that Argentina weren't afraid of France and actually attacked them, which is what England should have done. They didn't try and be, they didn't try and play differently, they didn't try and do anything, but they made some very smart tactical decisions. I think bringing Di Maria back in was a good idea, and it changed. They really did the crossfield ball against Koundé, who's a great centre back, plays for Barcelona, but I don't know if he's a great right back. And Di Maria got a lot of the ball, and France really didn't have a kick in the first half at all. Messi gets a penalty, scores the penalty, Argentina 1-0 up, and then a fantastic flowing, beautiful football move. One-touch football. Messi was involved as well. Again, the ball was sprayed across the box and Di Maria knocks it in 2-0. And Argentina were cruising. But then, when you have a Messi, you also have an Mbappe on the other side. And the really, truly great players can turn a game on their own. And he stood up and he dragged France single-handedly, put them on his back. Still had probably one of the worst performances in the first half of this World Cup for them. I've watched all of France's games and they were poor in the first half. In the second half they came way much better into it. So he gets a penalty to make it 2-1. Then he gets another one and we're 2-0. And all of a sudden the game is open and it turns into a classic. Messi gets another one, and then Mbappe gets a third, and it was, the stuff that dreams are made of, really. Goes to a penalty shootout, and Argentina's goalkeeper Martinez is the hero, and that was it's so hard to summarise, but to say it was the best World Cup final in living memory is not an overstatement. Is it the best one of history? Probably. There's been some good finals back in the 80s, but the last great final was in 1986 when Argentina won a 3-2, I think it was, against West Germany at the time, and Maradona single-handedly won it for Argentina. I think Messi had a better support network than Maradona did, but the game has changed a lot. I'm of the vintage where I can remember Maradona. He was coming to the end of his career when I can remember him, but I did see him play. But as I said, he was towards the end. But Messi is just magical, like magical. Does this finish the argument of being the GOAT? I think so. The Copa America and the European Championships are pretty much the same type of competition. So he won one, Ronaldo won one, and Ronaldo's not going to win no World Cup at 41 years of age, even if he does keep playing till then. Look, I think Ronaldo fucked Portugal's chances and his own by doing an interview with Piers Morgan and starting a war with his club before the World Cup. I think all of that could have been done afterwards. I think it took unnecessary attention away from the team and put it on Ronaldo. And to be honest, his attitude let him down. He let his team down. And, you know, Morocco were worthy winners against him. So Messi didn't ever made it about him or about his last World Cup or how he needed to win this or whatever else. But Messi's going to win the Ballon d'Or now again. So that'll be 8. And I think Ronaldo has 6. So he's not going to get 2 more. He's not going to get better as he gets older. And honestly, I think Mbappe is going to be the future, along with some other young players coming through, Haaland and stuff like that. So there is other players to come through, but I think this was the moment for one of the greats to finish on a high, and I think Messi just edged it. I think he's a better team player than Ronaldo is. He scored as many goals as Ronaldo has scored. He set up more goals than Ronaldo set up. And he deserved the World Cup. And Ronaldo deserved to go home because it was carrying on. You know, he's only 5 years younger than me, and I can't believe how, you know, selfish he is. A team sport and a team game where one player can make a huge difference, but only if that player is willing to put it all in for the team. And I don't think Ronaldo does that, and I think that's why, if we're going to call up the GOAT conversation, you've got to give it to Leo Messi now. He's won 4 Champions Leagues, 13 La Ligas. He's won 7 Ballon d'Ors. He's won the Copa America. Now he's won the World Cup. He's won everything there is to win in the game. He's completed the set now. There's nothing left to prove. He's got it all. And, you know, I never thought we'd see another Maradona. And then Messi comes along. And he's every bit as good as Maradona was. He's every bit as good as Maradona was. And, you know, Maradona played a lot in Argentina. Like, when you look back at the Messi story, you see that he left Argentina at 13. The Argentinian press used to say he was more Spanish than Argentinian. You know, he didn't really he had a very rough ride with Argentina up until 2014 when he got to the final. I think they started to appreciate him from, say, 2016, 17 onwards. But this is the first time Argentina have won the World Cup in 38 years or something. And Messi's name now will go down with Maradona. And so deserves it. Because he was the same build, same height, played for the same teams, like same number, same type of player. Like, could you imagine just growing up in that fishbowl of always being compared to someone that was so good? And instead of throwing his toys out of the pram like a little spoiled bastard, like Ronaldo does, he sucked it up. He took the country on the shoulders. And look, I know that Argentina were a much better team than they were when Maradona had them. But you can see how much the players love him. Like, it isn't just about him. I know the media and the fans make it about him, but you can see to him, it's about the team. And he is such an example for the young players to look up to. And for any kid who wants to play football. If you just look at his career, the way he trains, the way he looks after himself, the no scandals, the no bullshit, none of this social media shite, you know, nothing. He just, every video you see of him, he's always doing the right things. He's so humble, considering how much adulation he gets. And I think he deserves everything he's going to get now. I think the conversation of the GOAT is now over. I think he is it. I'm so happy he is. I really am. I was always a huge fan of his. Always. And look, I'm not shitting on Ronaldo. Unbelievable records. Unbelievable appearances he made for Real Madrid. You know. But you know, I just think he's fucked his legacy at the end with his carry on. He's like an old boxer who won't retire, and he's just getting the head punched off him, and he's still swinging, pretending that he's still the best, and he's not. He's not even in the top fucking 10 anymore. Like, his decline has been fucking savage. Where Messi turned up for his team, Ronaldo let his one down, and Messi can ride off into the sunset, and if he's any sense, he will, because this game is very unforgiving. Today's hero is tomorrow's villain, so I don't think he's anything left to prove. I'm sure he'll play a few games with Argentina just to finish out his career, but if he's got any smarts left, I think this is pretty much his retirement next year, and rightly so, because the longer you keep going and the more you can't produce what you could produce before, the more distorted your legacy becomes. So, not that Lionel Messi gives a fuck what I think, but if it was me, I think it's time, you know, finish up your contract with PSG, go out to America, ponce around there, but play the odd international game, but, you know, look to be hanging it up sooner rather than later, or else you just turn into a bitter little fuck like Ronaldo. Anyway, I think I've talked too much about that, but look, for France, you know, I don't think they turned up for 80 minutes. I think Mbappe pulled them back into the game to make it a contest, but without Mbappe, they would have been beaten 2 or 3-0, and that would have been the end of it. It would have been a very one-sided World Cup final. What made it great was that Mbappe stood up and he got a hat-trick and scored a penalty and still lost. Crazy. So yes, it was the best World Cup final ever. Yes, the right people, the right team won it, the right person won it, and we can now get on to club football. So congratulations to Argentina, congratulations to Leo Messi. What a career, what a player. It's been an absolute privilege to watch him play for 20 years. I remember his debut, and I watched both of them come up. I remember Ronaldo's debut at Manchester United when he was about 17 or 18. I remember these things. Thankfully, I've been lucky enough to see the tail end of Maradona, and I've seen the whole of these two. And now I'm watching the beginning of Mbappe. And will there be another Messi? Maybe. But I just don't think it will be in my lifetime. I think I've been truly blessed with the players I've got to see. Pele was a bit before my time. You know, you'd have to be like 80 to remember him. But his records are now being broken. And I think, you know, it's a hard argument to make against Messi now. Alright, that's it. No player ratings. My player of the match was probably Messi. But De Paul and McAllister from Argentina were amazing. On the French side, Mbappe, what a player he is, and what a talent he's going to be. He's only 24. He's already won the World Cup. You know, like he's going to be in a lot of World Cup finals if they can keep him in the French team. He probably needs to leave the Farmers League because no one gives a shit about that trophy, and probably go to Spain or England to cement his status. But it's been a fantastic World Cup and I've really enjoyed it. I don't know if it's the best one, but it's definitely up there. Everyone probably says it'll be the best one because it's the most recent memory one. And it's hard to remember back 8 or 12 years ago how good it was and how you felt at the time. But this final really topped off a fantastic tournament. All the bullshit at the start, all the carry on in the middle, and all the bollocks at the end didn't matter. Football won in the end, like it always does. Anyway, I will be back on the 26th, which is Boxing Day, for Liverpool's game. And I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a peaceful and safe New Year. And I'll see you on the 26th.